You think about like all those streamers on Twitch, like half the streamers, these live streamer video game girls are just like girls that like, all right, I'm getting me some money.
That's what we need, is just keep the full shirt down. Hello everyone and welcome to Tank Talks.
That's right, this show is called Tank Talks. My name is Keith.
My name is Brandon, and today I woke up, Keith, and it was summertime.
You're right, it's warm out.
You want to know why I know it's summertime?
Oh, it's not because of the weather? Why is it summertime?
It's because of the taste and the sounds of summer.
Oh, what? I'm suspicious at what you're trying to bring up, but let's go ahead and do that.
Keith, what I'm talking about is Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Oh yeah, baby, game fuel.
A hit of it's due with a blast of natural and artificial tropical lime flavor.
Man.
The makers of Mountain Dew went and took natural flavors.
And
then
artificial.
They said, natural flavors is just not enough for the people. We need to make some good old fake chemicals and put it in this can.
The audacity, just the fact that you're Mountain Dew, and you know people will buy this product that you can put the word artificial on the front.
Keith, I've never been to Baja, but I'm sure there's a lot of fakeness there.
Yeah, I have to imagine you're probably right.
Also,
so we're about to crack these open for our episode?
Yes.
Also, our episode is going to be characterized by what kind of beverage we have. That's fine.
Wait till the next episode. We'll film next week.
We'll
exact location.
We'll filter them by playlist. This will be the first video on the Baja Blast playlist.
Summertime.
Knowing you, Brandon, I expected it to be hot. But
you know what's weird, Keith, is that when I go to Taco Bell, I don't get the Baja Blast.
Right.
Because their drinks suck. So I get really excited whenever they release it in cans or bottle form.
So you can get it from the trusted source.
Mm-hmm.
But this episode isn't about Baja Blast,
It
despite how entertaining this has been so far.
It could be, Keith. That's just how strong the blast is.
Mm-hmm. I can really taste the artificial flavor. The artificial flavor actually comes through the strongest.
A little bit of God's lime, a little bit of
God's
the Dew lime.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what you were talking about. Talking about man-made versus God-made lime.
But today every time we explain what we're talking about, I just know that people have already seen the title. Like, we don't just have question marks or like a code where people are like, what are they talking about?
Brandon, I need you to give my thumbnails a little bit of credit because sometimes they don't always contain the title. Some people may just be clicking on a big thumbnail of Baja Blast. They don't know what they're talking about.
I thought you were about to say sometimes my thumbnails just aren't good.
No, that's also true. Sometimes at the end of a long Monday evening, I don't feel like making a good thumbnail.
I think people don't understand how hard it is to even to make a thumbnail. Like, sometimes I'll watch commercials and I think that commercial, they could do that just because they went and spent $5,000 on graphics.
Sure.
And speaking of people not knowing what's going on behind the scenes.
Oh man, I smelled that segue from a mile off.
I was happy.
I almost stopped you in the middle of it, but I let you finish.
I was walking through JCPenney and I saw it over there and I was like, I'm getting on it and we're going to the second floor.
I'm not doing the segue thing again. I don't want to do it again. And one day in the future, this will be a meme. In the future, if we ever do amass an audience and people care about us, they will talk about. You remember how in the early episodes of Tank Talks, they only talked about the word segue at the beginning of each episode?
I was on my Segway heading to the Segway.
Yeah, everybody will be watching it from their Segways.
We are talking about what goes into a video. Because if you're on this channel, you're probably watching other videos. And if you're not, then you're not really a fan.
Right.
So if you really like us, you would watch everything we put out.
If you're starting here, this is definitely the top, and there's only nowhere to go but down.
That's our motto.
Yeah, that's how we feel about every video. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
But today we're going to take you through what goes into making a video.
And it's not sugar, spice, and everything nice.
That is the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
And Chemical X. People forget about Chemical X.
People are sleeping on Chemical X. You need to remember.
People talk about them being sweet and nice and all, but really the thing that separates Powerpuff Girls and your average non-Powerpuff Girl is just a lot of Chemical X.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a medical experiment, really.
Gone awry.
They're not just little girls with superpowers. They're a horrific amalgamation of.
Really, they're not even humans. They're just an experiment.
Exactly.
That's a whole other topic, though. If we're making We're making children in our basement. Are they real children?
Stick around next week for an episode entitled "Ruining All of Your Childhood Cartoons."
We did that with the Woody episode.
That's true, we did last week.
But anyway, we wanted to give you a little bit of a look into what goes into a video. So I think a lot of times people, when they're filming videos, or not filming videos, because they film videos, they would know what goes into it. But when they watch video, they just think, oh, it's just like two people there, and they're doing something funny. But like I was sitting down last night like with my mom watching TV, and I was telling her about like commercials. And I was like, you know that 30-second commercial you just watched? That took like 8 hours to film, and people in it got paid like $500.
Did she enjoy this after every commercial?
We just talked about it like for one commercial, and then we muted the other commercials as I explained what I was saying.
Okay.
But even if you're watching a movie, because I was just saying like the people in the background, we forget those aren't just people. Like it's not just Matthew McConaughey and Megan Fox talking. You have people.
I'm trying to figure out what film that is.
I
don't think it exists.
But you have people in the background like the cooks in the restaurant. Those are just actors that are pretending to like cook.
Of course.
The people in the diner, like the person that walks in, like kind of in a rush to get their food and walk out, that is an actor. They were paid to do that. So there's just a lot that goes into it. Plus, with acting for the camera, the class at Charleston Southern, Justin, our good friend Justin Borak, who was in plays and our videos.
Right.
He's famous. He was in a good 5 seconds of The Amazing Spider-Man, so...
The Amazing Spider-Man? Or you
I think he's just like flying through the town, because when Justin told me, I was really like, oh cool, who'd you play? He's like, oh, I'm like hot dog customer number 3.
In The Amazing Spider-Man? So
yeah, when he's like
Garfield?
Well, yeah, when it's CGI'd, because he showed me like...
He's in New York? Is Justin from New York?
I think so. He's from up north.
But made it all the way to Charleston Southern.
But he wrote a video, and I think he was helping Keating help direct it, co-direct it. And there was a part in the movie there, and it took like 20 minutes for them to film it. But in the movie itself, it was only like 10 seconds of the video. I say all of that to say we needed to make some time for this video.
Say all that to say, even our little bitty videos that not many people watch, there's some work that goes into them. They don't just fall out of our butts.
So here's kind of the rundown. Is that the word?
Sure.
Here's the rundown of how a video gets made.
Or maybe a brief outline.
Now, there's a lot of videos that are easier because it just involves Keith and I. So I can just head over to his house and say, we're going to film this video. And we film it, so then we're able to come up with it together. We're able to just cast it because it's just us two. We're able to edit it together. Yeah, so those videos are really easy. But we're going to take a look at just your regular video that we film with some friends down in Charleston.
Right.
Because that makes it a little more difficult because Keith is not there to make sure that the camera work goes well.
I am not.
And I am not there to say, hey, I need this song. Why'd you put smooth jazz in it?
Right. Yep. I'm definitely not there to make sure that everything remains in focus.
That's why you haven't seen some of our videos. Because they were destroyed.
They weren't destroyed.
Sitting in a jail cell.
There are some things that are more important to me than they are to some others. You know, I'm not salty.
Like focus.
Yeah, like you being able to see what we want you to see. Sometimes who needs it?
So your typical video, it starts off with an idea. A lot of times this just, like our video, The Netflix Broker.
Certainly.
That happened when I was at a career fair. And I told the woman I just liked selling things to people, and I loved the satisfaction of when someone enjoyed something that I had sold them on. And how a lot of times I enjoy giving people recommendations on Netflix, and they go watch it, and they get back and say, I really love that show. And she said, oh, well, you're like a Netflix broker. So then I ignored her for the next 5 minutes where she talked about helping people at a retired facility.
Sure.
And I just started thinking, Netflix broker.
Yeah.
So ideas can come from just that, or it can come from like anything. But there's an idea, then it becomes, okay, is this something we can do? Is this something we can't do?
That process is usually decided via a brief text messaging conversation between Brandon and myself.
Where Keith will inform me, Brandon, we don't have $10,000 to film this video.
Which a lot of times is just, a lot of our ideas, I think, when you boil them down, are really good, but like a huge budget would definitely do them more justice. That's obviously the case with most things, but there's like some things where it's like it would just be better to wait until such a time where we had a bigger budget to do this.
Yeah.
But
So it goes through the plot, costumes, props. Do we have what it takes to make this into a good video, or do we not have that? And so then we either pass on it, or we say, okay, let's move forward with it. And the next comes casting. So then that whole decision becomes like, okay, if I've had this idea, like is it something I can film like down back home with like Keith and our friend Zenas?
It's important for us to explain, because people may not know. I currently live an hour and a half away from Brandon, which makes it difficult. I've essentially, it's me and Zenas, who are typically in our videos, are the people who live where I live, near to where I live. And then everyone else that are acting in our videos live an hour and a half away, which whenever you work full time, like both of us do or whatever, we both have full-time work school schedules. It's hard to have the time to make an hour and a half journey and then get every rounded up. So that's the reason why we're saying we have to get to where we're getting.
So if it becomes a video where it's like, oh, well, we can film it down in Charleston because we need more people, or if Keith just says, you can let someone else be in that video.
Right.
Then we film it with that. So then it becomes okay, who's best for the part? Like if it's a weirdo, like we know a lot of people that can play weirdos, but what if there's a weirdo and you need a normal guy? Then it becomes like who can do what best? And a lot of people think you just grab someone and say, oh, they're funny, you throw them in there, but there's a lot more to that. Yeah, and I actually had our good friend Zach Patton. We're just name dropping a lot of people. We have like a little counter out there.
Yeah. Bing, bing.
But he was talking about how he really appreciates whenever he's asked to be in a video, because he knows that it's not just us saying, well, so-and-so hasn't been in a video for 2 weeks, so we got to put him in there. He knows that, they thought that I was better than other people that play that part. And he really appreciates that. And that's something that, like, you don't want to just throw it in and say that. That's why some videos you watch and like Keith may not be in that, or I may not be in it, or neither one of us is in it.
Brand, people don't watch the videos I'm not in.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't know what they're like, wait, there's other videos there?
Sorry, I'm just kidding. Obviously.
And then it becomes scheduling. Like, how are we going to get everyone to film this? Some videos, like our list videos, is easy because we just got to say, hey, do you have 2 minutes free? Come film this. Yeah. Or if we need 5 people to be in the same scene, then it becomes, okay, we're going to have to film this at 2 a.m. on the first Tuesday of the month.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Between, like, this time and this time.
You grow up and scheduling becomes the hardest thing, like, because you don't want to encroach on anybody's already made schedule. So the fact that you want everyone's free time to line, that's one of my least favorite things about being an adult.
Then it moves to filming, and so without Keith there, like, who edits all of our videos, it's a little harder because then it starts becoming guessing, like, okay, what have I heard Keith say he really likes? What have I heard him say that he absolutely hates? Right. So then it's making sure, like, we have the right, like, angles, like the shots, the color is good, all of that stuff in the video. And that's why a lot of times when I get back, I say, Keith, I didn't know what you wanted. So I filmed this video 4 different times.
Sure.
So here's 30 minutes of material for a 2-minute video.
Here's 30 minutes of me and our friends giggling. And so,
that too.
Yeah, I get a lot of that, which is fun.
So after we have all of that like done with the video, then it becomes delivering it to Keith when the real magic happens.
That's when the tax man comes.
That's what they call him.
I feel like the editing is the most serious part. Like if there were everything is super fun until then it's like, oh well, now we have to ground this project in reality and actually figure out what we can make it look like. So I feel like I feel like some weird, like, kind of nebulous Mr. Smith type, I don't know, Matrix character where it's like, does Keith really exist? Or does Brandon just, like, go home and drop these videos off in a mailbox, and then when he comes back, there's a flash drive with him on there.
It's also weird because you've said before how there's so many people you've never met, but you feel like you're their best friend because you've seen them serious. You've seen that they're worse and they're best. You just know them.
There was definitely a time when we first started, like, all these new people were coming in to be doing videos, or Brandon was asking to be in videos, and it was just like, every week I get to meet a new person on my computer screen, which is also my icebreaker joke when I meet these people for the first time. It's like, I've seen you on my computer.
I love seeing that joke get thrown out there.
You've seen it many times.
It never gets old.
Yep. Now all of these people know that they weren't the first. That I was that joke virgin. I'd already used it before I was used up.
So, like, what does it look like whenever you sit down?
You want me to talk about editing?
That's just what happens. I just do my thing and.
No, we pull the videos off the cards, and I try to arrange them into files, and then I put them into the Premiere project, and then kind of scrub through and see what we can use. And some things sometimes are more difficult. Sometimes I feel like if a shot, like somebody's talking at the end of it or whatever, I try to find creative ways to cut things together where it looks like we. Another interesting thing is that I will say we've done a pretty good job over the years of making it look like we have more than one camera.
Yeah.
Which we don't. We have one camera, but we try to film our videos in such a way, obviously, as to make it look like we do have more than one camera. Mm-hmm. And I think it takes some fancy footwork in the editing room to make that look that way sometimes. And again, I'm not trying to toot the horn of our videos. Like, obviously, we could pick apart each one of them and both find things. We're like, I wish this was different. Some more than others, but I enjoy doing it. I would enjoy it a lot more if I didn't have to sequester editing to. I had no idea this video was going to go 18 minutes. Well, no, we started late. It would be a lot more fun if I didn't have to just allot myself just a little bit of time on Sundays doing it. Mm-hmm. Like if I could quit my job and only do this for a living, I would really enjoy editing because I could wake up and edit. But whenever it's like, I have to get this done in a certain amount of time, it kind of makes it less fun. But I do love seeing it come together. And one sad thing, a sad thing about editing is like, you guys, especially like in this situation we're talking about, you film it down there. You guys film it and it's like, I'm living it. It's fun. This is funny. You just did a funny thing and it's hilarious. And this video is going to be so funny. But then when it gets to me, I didn't live it. I don't know anything about it, so I didn't get that humor. And then I watch everything like 600 times before we actually put it out. And so every video we upload is just like, it can't make me laugh anymore. Yeah. There are some ones that can make me laugh. What was it? There was one recently that. What was the one recently that just made me laugh so much? I think it was it was Rigel. Oh, it was the Turterer thing where Rigel said where he cries out that he was in Nam. That thing still makes me laugh. But yes, a lot of times it's just like I'm numb to the video once it's released.
That's what Bryan Cranston one time said about filming like videos and TV shows. Is he said you just do the first time you film it, the joke's really funny, but then they film it another 15 times, and you get to the point you're like, I don't even know if this is funny. Then you have to wait 6 months to see if people even tune in to watch it. Right. But yeah, and I think that what's cool about it is when you look at all this stuff, it's easy at the beginning or from the outside to look and say, oh, well, you just got to have, if you have good actors, everything's cool. Or if you have great editing, everything's cool. But you really realize how you really need all of that. Because if you don't have a good idea, we've had videos where the editing was great, acting was great, but the idea just sucked. It was a lot funnier at the time, and we've had other videos where the idea and editing, but we should have got this person to play whatever. And then finally, with idea and acting, you got the editing.
Just can't pull it off.
Yeah, or if it's not the right song, but it's just cool to look and see how even just little decisions can just change a whole thing. Because we've had videos where they were a funny video, but then you find the right song to put over it, and then it just becomes a hilarious film. Sure. Because I think of the Teen Movie trailer.
I was about to tell you that's what you were thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, the music definitely helps that one. I think, though, you explaining these three things and how they all work together, I will tell you this. If you're watching this to figure out how to do good, there's only one surefire way to just throw all those things in the dumpster. You don't need any of them to be successful. And that is to be very objectively attractive.
I was going to tell him to send a check to $500 to Tank Media and we'll teach you.
No, sadly enough, that is not it.
So if you're not attractive, send us a check and come intern with us.
Yeah, we currently, I would say, based on our current level of success, are not so attractive that people will come in droves to find us. We're trying to rely a little bit on our humor, but if you are just objectively attractive, if a lot of times if you have big boobies, you can make videos.
Yeah, really weird.
I'm
Really fast.
just saying, like you think about like all those streamers on Twitch, like half the streamers, these live streamer video game girls are just like girls that like, all right, I'm getting me some money.
That's what we need is just keep the blood shirt down.
I'm really sorry for taking it there, but I'm just, if you're really attractive, you'll be fine.
It's true.
I feel like I ruined your video now, because I showed my breasts.
But that's a good way to end this tank talk.
I think you're right. We can edit that out in the end if you like. But I've enjoyed it. I'm glad you came up with this idea. I think it's fun to talk about what goes into a video. Remind ourselves that it's not just we're throwing these things out.
Yeah.
We actually do put some work into them. We very much appreciate you for watching this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and become a tank media. We need to find a cool thing to call our followers, but once we get some, we'll figure that out. Anything else, Brandon?
A cat ran in front of my car today, but it did not hit it.
Awesome. We'll see you next week. Bye.